Hello guys, welcome back and happy little pre-Halloween here. I got kind of two spooky topics today to talk about. Obviously, one of which is the price action on GFAI because that thing is just horrendous. Actually, I'm up on that ticker. It's one of the few tickers I'm up on. And the second thing is, although today I'm having a green day, and I'll just switch to my trading screen in a second here and you'll see it, and we'll talk about the trades I did. Unfortunately, it wasn't enough to bring me back green on the month. So this is my first red month since Q1. I think it was November 2019 when we started the small accounts challenge. So we've kind of far way since then for sure. It's kind of bittersweet because it gave me a little bit of time to reflect a little bit how far we came. And wow, totally different trader than back then. But this month, I started off red, I got pretty green, and then I gave it all back this week, which is ironic because this week was like some of the best action we've seen starting, I think it was Thursday or Friday last week. And it was a little bit annoying because I was trying to size up and I was a little bit too excited and I would be buying high and then there'd be flushes and all of a sudden, a 10% or 20% loss would just stop me out for the day. And I was stopped out twice this week. And I also many times gave back so many profits this week. So it was just a really, really bad week for me overall. So let's go ahead and talk about the trades we made today and reflect a little bit more. And I looked at my calendar, my profit calendar, my statistics. I was actually only almost just shy of like $300 away from getting back green on the month. But there's no need to keep on trading if there's no opportunities. And today there was no opportunities. I spent like the last hour and a half not trading, but readjusting my chart layout. So I want to show you guys a little bit of that near the end as well. Thanks Guns Suarez for helping me with my chart layout. I'll share that link with you guys as well. So let's talk about these tickers and then we'll talk about the new chart layout and share it with you guys. So a lot of these tickers, I only did like one trade on. I think BEST and BKKT were and METX. So we'll really quickly talk about that. There's not much to talk about on those. GFAI is really the one I want to be focused on today. Like always, though, let's kind of start from the bottom and then work our way up. UAVS, this was a tough one. This is one of those classic tickers where I constantly lost money on and eventually I just walked away on because once I start losing money on a ticker, it's usually best for me to just throw in the towel because somewhere me and that ticker are just not meshing. I'm reading it wrong and I'm constantly losing on it. So that's why I stopped trading it and thank God because there are some nasty moves on this one and I think I probably would have just, lost on them. And actually, before we start on UAVS, I just want to say that the fact that I'm up 478 today is actually percentage-wise a massive green day. Yesterday, I was up $700, also a massive green day. Not dollar volume, not dollar amount, but percentage-wise. There was many trades I did today with like $600. Most of my trades were around $1,000. And my bigger sizes today was like $1.5 thousand. So today was like a 20 to 30% profit day, maybe even more. I would have to check my statistics when I import these trades tomorrow. But yesterday was percentage-wise was an amazing day. Today, percentage-wise, was technically also an amazing day. So if I was trading my normal size, $20,000, today could have been a blow away day. We're talking about like $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 if I did the exact same trades just with my normal size. So I just wanted to show you a little bit of perspective on actually, today was a pretty good green day for me. So, trying to push it, make another $300 today would have been really difficult with my share size. So the only way I would have made more money, get back green on the month, would step up my share size. And in the market that we're seeing today, it would have not been a good idea. So it's better I take a red month, walk away and leave it be. So I wanted to throw that in there quickly before we talk about UAVS. And if you've been part of this community for a while, you probably know right out of the gates, there's something really different with my charts. And let me show you guys what the old charts look like. This is basically how my old layout looked, just like that. So my new layout gives me a little bit bigger 1 minute chart. It puts my 5 and daily chart right here, right below it, which is kind of nice, although they're a little bit smaller. It makes my active trader much bigger. You can see the active trader right here, much bigger. And then you can see the time and sales also much bigger. There was one sacrifice I did have to make, and that is the level 2. Now, it was tough for me to give up the level 2 because I feel like that's an important part for day traders. But the active trader is a little bit like a level 2. It's kind of like an interactive level 2, I guess you can say. And to be honest, with my old trading screen, so I can also show you guys how it looks here. So I was the day trader. Since the level 2 is over here, I almost was never looking at it because I'd be so focused here. And then I'll constantly mess myself up because I'd be trying to, the price would move so fast, and I would wish this was longer. So I feel like the new chart layout right here, the vertical active trader, is going to be nicer. So what I will do, and I was going to save this for the end of the video, but I'll just do it now because the flow made more sense. So what I'll do is I'll share this with you guys. If you guys are interested, I'm going to leave it in that first pinned comment, and then I'm also going to put it in the video descriptions going forward. So you guys can pick between day trader vertical, or you guys can pick between my original day trader layout, which I'm a really big fan of, and it's got me this far, but I do think the extended level 2 is going to be nicer. Now, if I wasn't trading on a laptop screen and I had a much bigger monitor, I think I would make room. Actually, I know I would make room for the level 2 as well, but I'm fighting with a small real estate space right now, so I can only do so much. I also removed the news, and that's up here, but that was a change we made quite some time ago, also with the old one. And if some of you guys are wondering, Alex, why don't you just put the level 2 under time and sales? I actually tried to do that, and the problem is it has to be much wider down here for it to work. So let me give you guys a quick example. So if I go here and say show sidebars and cells, then I can go ahead and edit again. That brings these sidebars up here, and I'll add the level 2. And notice how the level 2 does not show up. So if I wanted this level 2 to show up, I would actually have to make this a lot bigger. So this is, and this would work if I had a bigger monitor. This would work no problem. So what I would probably do is have the level 2 below the time and sales, and then just readjust everything else so it works. But I gotta say, this is not worth it on my laptop. This is hectic. I can't read anything, and this makes the time of sales take up way too much space for it to be worthwhile. So that's why I'm gonna leave the level 2 out for now, and basically have it like this. So I'm just gonna go back here to VAT. I hope that makes sense. And let's see, I'm gonna give it a few weeks, and maybe just next week on Monday, I'll be like, no, this was a bad idea. But I gotta say, I think I really like this. I like how the day, the 1 minute is above the 5 minute, and the daily more organized here. I really like the longer active trader over here. Everything just feels like it makes a little bit more sense. So let's go here to, I'm going to say save grid as, no, I'm going to say share grid. And again, big thanks to Gun Suarez for helping me set up this long vertical trader, because it took me forever to realize that you have to go over here to vertical AT and 2 charts. Trust me, I looked everywhere. I was constantly in this window playing around with things. So that was my mistake. So again, I really do appreciate the help. Okay, so let's go here to share it. I'm going to say share grid, and then I'm going to call it day trader, and then I'm going to say vert AT, which is vertical active trader, which is this one area over there. By Alex Winkler, that's me. Share everything you have in the chart. Sure. I'm going to say share. And this is the link, and it's here now. These are the ones I created, and I'm going to go ahead and copy this link, and I will send it. I will again post it in the first pinned comment below this video, and also in all future video descriptions going forward. And when you guys, and to activate this, all you need to go do is click setup here, and then say open shared item, and then you just post that link in here. You could preview it, and then you import it. You could go ahead and say open shared items as well, because that's going to be a little bit easier, because it's going to go right to this screen here, which is just tools and then shared items. And here's the one from Guns that Suarez that I imported. And then so you will see my import here. And then all you will have to do is go back to your trading screen, and then you should be able to see day trader vert AT here. And you can always change the name, obviously, if you want. Okay. Now that that's out of the way, let's start talking about the tickers I traded today, starting with UAVS again. Let's try to get back into it. Now, okay, let me type it in, UAVS. It's already off our gap scanner here, so you know this ticker plummeted. This was a tricky ticker for sure. On the daily, we're on the backside. You can see the daily here. I love how it's below my chart now. Just a backside ticker with big resistance right in this area. On the 5 minute, it's okay. On the 5 minute, it doesn't necessarily look bad, but you can see every time it's extended from the 9 EMA, it ends up flushing really hard. So you wanted to buy this one pretty early. And I actually did do that on my first trade. I started buying in here as we were kind of coming back. And unfortunately, I stopped out at 303 right before the bounce. So I chased it a little bit, pulled back again, and luckily I was doing really small size. I mean, look right here, I was doing 100 shares, and then here was my probably biggest size on this ticker. It was at 1.2 thousand shares. So like still very, very small size, way under 20% based on my average last week, let's just say, and earlier this week. UAVS, a little move here. I was trying to buy a bull bet pullback. It flushed super hard, and I don't know. I just kind of stopped trading this ticker because somehow I just didn't mesh with it, and it wasn't that great of a ticker overall. BEST, let's just talk about this one really, really fast. Not much to say. It's kind of a constant downwards trending ticker. I tried to take this trade when it looked like it was entering a front side, traded this pullback, and it just didn't work out. On the daily, big resistance at 205. On the 5 minute, you could see it's just a disaster. So not really interesting. METX, let's go here. This was a sub-dollar ticker. I'm almost never trading sub-dollar tickers, so it's probably why this one didn't work out. On the daily, it's on a front side for sure, but 0.75 is big time resistance. On the 5 minute, it's looking a little bit choppy. I was trying to trade this one as we were on a front side here, but it failed. I just kind of stopped out right away for, I think it was a little bit of a loss. Or did I have a green? Oh yeah, $4.50 I made on this ticker. Well, I could buy myself a coffee. So yeah, I don't know, not really too interesting. I guess this little run up here would have been maybe the time to trade it, but it wasn't on a front side till past around 7-1. And look at that, only had one pullback here in this area. So that would have been maybe the trade to do on METX if I was sticking to my only trading front side, which I have been today. BKKT, this ticker was on a really, really quick little front side move, and I traded this pullback here, but it didn't have continuation, so I quickly closed out. Not a lot for me to talk about with BKKT today. It's just been a really, really nice ticker to swing trade, and we dominated swing trading this month. So it might be a red month for my day trading, but I think it was one of my best swing trading months ever. So that definitely balances it out more than anything, but still, first day trading red month since the challenge, and that is a little bit bittersweet, I gotta say. Sweet because it gives me extra time to reflect, and I guess I had to get one red month out of the way, hopefully. Anyway, yeah, BKKT, I tried that pullback here. It didn't have continuation, and this is a ticker that I'm definitely going to be looking for some more continuations. So I think if it comes back to $20, I would love to jump on this ticker, and we'll talk a lot more about BKKT, I think, for this monthly recap, because man, oh man, we had some really, really good swing trades on this one in our IRA account. Just absolutely great. And now let's go back to WIMI. This was one of the lead gappers on the day, probably one of the primary lead gappers. So we could spend a little bit more time talking on this ticker. I feel like I just said stinker. It was a tough one though for me as well. On the daily, it's on the backside as well. A lot of resistance, 180-day simple moving average resistance coming in here. $6 big time resistance that we got close to pre-market, but yeah, it's been a tough one. And on the 5 minute, it kind of had these like stair steppers, 3 stairs, and every stair got more and more sketchy. And now we're kind of stuck here below VWAP, and maybe we'll have a little bit of a fake out and try to get back above VWAP, but I don't know. I'm not really too optimistic. This pre-market was really the interesting part. So let me zoom in on this. So we had a big spike here and pulled back, and at this point we were actually up quite a bit. So we closed right here, and we were up 27%, quite a bit in terms of this week. Doesn't make sense, but in terms of like in general, we were seeing pre-market, we didn't have any gappers over 20% at first. So when we saw this, I was like, okay, we're finally something's moving. I didn't trade this pullback, which would have been good. A little bit unfortunate. I guess the 5 minute was actually a perfect setup because it was the 5 minute was no longer extended in this area. So this would have been a good pullback here. I missed it, 5%. I had a second pullback opportunity. This would have been 6% there. Both would have been pretty good moves. Technically, it's still on the front side here. I missed that. I traded this light pullback, but it didn't really amount to much. I traded this pullback. This one unfortunately failed. I guess on the 5 minute, you can maybe argue it was extended. I don't know. And then I traded a few times here. This pullback I made some money on, but I somehow was never on really the right side on this one. I'm still trading really small size. And yeah, that was pretty much the end of WIMI for me. I was thinking about maybe getting long on this one when it went back above VWAP, but I feel like anytime you see a ticker with just a lot of sell momentum when you look to the left, it's really discouraging. And that's why I didn't trade any of this. And ultimately, it's for the best, because who knows if I would have entered here, maybe I would have traded this one into a breakout and got flushed on. So anyway, it's no clear new front side. So it would have been really kind of forcing it. Now, talking about GFAI, this is really the ticker that I want to focus on today. It's got a lot of chop action, so this ticker is crazy. I'm up 578 on it, and man, oh man, I could have been up a lot more if I was using just a slightly bigger size. You guys are gonna laugh how small my size is on GFAI. On the daily though, also kind of a gnarly ticker until we were above like $4 or so. Then we had blue skies potentially. So I was like, GFAI could be the one. But from like 7 to 8 was the best time to trade it. And ever since then, I only gave back profits on it. It was, yeah, classic. So let's zoom in here. And this was the beautiful move. This was right around 7 o'clock. Oh, look at this. Absolutely great. Spikes up here, 70%. And I was like, woohoo, let's go. So I actually ended up buying here with 500 shares. That's a $1,500 position size. And I wrote this one up, made 50 cents a share, and I sold it. I bought on the pullback and then sold it again. Every time really small share size kind of bites me a little bit. I feel like I'm trading too small share size right now, where sometimes I'm not even taking profits and I end up closing just because it's not even worth it. There was a few trades I did today with like 100 shares, and that's like $300, $400, $500 on the tickers we were trading. And it just doesn't really feel worthwhile when you're usually trading $20,000. So I think I do have to step up my share size a little bit to probably at least $5,000, or it might just not be, I just might not be taking trading seriously enough. It's kind of like when you're playing a game of poker, right? You got to put at least a little bit of money in, or nobody takes it seriously. And right now I feel like I'm right at that threshold where some of my trades I don't take seriously just because there's not enough money in it. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to hold and see if it rips, you know, although I should already be taking profits, and I would be if I was using just a little bit more size. A little side tangent, but it's something I think about and I thought about quite a lot today. Eventually we were back below VWAP on this one. I tried a few more trades in this, or one more trade here on the 9 EMA, but it never broke back above VWAP, so I closed it. And only once we actually were kind of back on a little bit of a front side here, I tried to trade it again, but I gave back a little bit more profits on that. And then gave back a little bit of profits here, but you know, I didn't get a size, 43 shares, so I didn't get a fill. And look at all these flushes though, so gnarly. And then when the market opened, I just went in with 100 shares to kind of see how I would react. And well, I pretty much just closed right away when this green candle failed, closed it, and then it ends up spiking up. So I usually never trade at the market open, but again, this is me trading with really small share size and just not taking it really seriously. So this was really a silly trade I just should have never done. Ultimately, if I could go back today, I would trade with a little bit more share size on GFAI, get that 5,000 shares, $5,000 roughly. I would have made pretty decent profits on this move alone. I would have been up probably $1,000, $1,500, maybe even $2,000. And even if I was trading a quarter share size, and I would have walked away. After this, looking around me, I was like, there's nothing good right now. Walking away is definitely going to be the best decision. And that's why I think I was really reluctant to trade anything else. And I was using really small share size because I was like, maybe I can get over that 300, 400 extra profit where I can, you know, have a green month. But yeah, there was nothing that really warranted it. So I'm totally happy. I think how the day played out. But yeah, note, you know, if you do reduce your share size, see how far you want to actually reduce it before you start not taking your trade seriously. I think that was a little bit of a lesson for today. But at the same time, it's a good way to put a lot of space between you and your red days and your mistakes you were having. So it's also not necessarily the worst. But I think going on Monday, I want to have like at least $5,000 in my share size, or my trade size. Definitely no more like 1.5 or something like that. I guess it is okay maybe if you're doing starter sizes and kind of averaging into, let's say, a full size, but yeah, I definitely didn't take a lot of trades seriously today either. So that was a little bit weird. Anyway, guys, that's all for this video. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to drop a like on the way out. I really do appreciate it. Have a great Halloween weekend, and I will see you guys then first thing Monday morning. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new. We'd love to have you part of the community. And like always, guys, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.